Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Weplay Invitational with AT-Gaming and TCM, who, well, this series has gone on to its third and final game, Spuddington, and this could be very interesting indeed, but go ahead and announce the giveaway.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as I believe several people in our Twitch chat have noticed and repeated ad nauseum, we do in fact have a genuine giveaway this time. To enter, I believe you just type !giveaway in Twitch chat and you will enter yourself in for the chance to win a Logitech G300 gaming mouse. So, good stuff there. I believe we are already into Champion Select for the actual game now, which is the third game of this best of three. AT versus TCM, and it's really hard to call.
Yeah, I think people may have misinterpreted what you meant, so you don't just type !giveaway, you follow the instructions that will be given to you, and you've entered into the giveaway instead of just spamming it, which is kind of causing an issue in chat.
May have been
we're
made.
drowning!
Okay, well, while that gets fixed, slow mode temptation strong. So yeah, type in giveaway, then follow the instructions. Okay, fine, whatever. Regardless though, picks and bans in progress. We have TCM taking away the Gragas as the first pick, and I'm going to say that's actually pretty smart. That was a large portion of why they had to deal with the Vayne split push last game, was because Gragas was such a good champion on the defensive. However, that's giving AT the chance to start taking away things that TCM have been relying on these last couple of games, like Jax and like Olaf.
It almost seems like AT-Gaming will win this game if they win in picks. However, TCM are starting to take so many things away to them that it means they have to keep bringing out new things. They're taking away the Riven in the bans, they're taking away the Gragas as well in the form of a pick. So this time around, AT-Gaming is not going to have to bring something else out or start denying things from TCM. As you mentioned, Spuddington, Fiddlesticks has been taken out.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, Fiddlesticks is showing himself to be now probably one of the best, most often
Pretty
seen
top
supports
tier.
now. Yeah, really top tier indeed. Especially after seeing the nerfs to Zyra, although Zyra is still a very well respected one. Fiddlesticks definitely up there with his ability to just punish anyone who gets in range of the fear. The other thing, of course, being that he is a very strong late game support, which is not something you usually pick for, although in Season 4 we might start seeing it a little bit more. Regardless though, TCM, they are picking out a lot of crowd control.
They are indeed. They've given themselves not only a disengage, but two chances of disengages and huge initiation in the form of Gragas, and we haven't even gotten to their top lane or jungler, which will have their own personal gap closers, and Varus has also been picked out. So pretty standard, pretty safe bot lane, and also Gragas in the mid lane. Oh, and in response we've got the Jinx coming in, along with Orianna, so it does look like AT have more tools in their arsenal to bring out in this third and final game. Spuddington, and also a ball carrier in the form of Vi, so very meaty engage composition so far.
Yeah, looking at the moment like it's going to be hard engage with the potential for siege. They don't really currently have a big answer to split pushing, however, and TCM are actually not going for Jax. Well, it's a decision they can make, even if I don't understand it.
Right. I would have said, Spuddington, I agree with you, right now would be the perfect opportunity for that Jax you've been running for this entire series, and only now they're deciding not to run it. Like, Jax would be perfect right here. We don't see the last pickup, obviously, from AT-Gaming, but just by picking Jax, he's gonna have a decent laning phase, and he will be strong later on into the game. It's almost like TCM are saying, well, when we do get to late game, we're being out-team fought, so we won't go for that, we'll go for a more early mid-game composition. But we've been getting outplayed in the early and mid game.
Yeah, it's a little bit more conventional from them though, because it is definitely true. They've been running very late game orientated compositions the last couple of games in this series, and last game was where we saw that really coming back to bite them, because they just lost too many advantages and they didn't have so much better of a late game that they were able to then just come back based off of that. As it happens, though, it does look like the final pick is being hovered over. It is the Lissandra, and that is interesting in a different way, because that is going to be Lissandra top, and it looks like it might end up being against Volibear.
Interesting. I mean, we know that TCM have been running Volibear jungle, but at the same time they could also run the Kha'Zix jungle. It would most likely beat the Volibear jungle. I'd be surprised if they ran him top lane, but it could happen. And that, that's more of a conventional matchup with Kha'Zix and Lissandra. and Gragas will be laning against Orianna, which is basically the mid lane that is most common at the moment.
Yeah, it's the mid lane whereby no one does very much until level 6, and then it's mostly looking for roaming plays and teamfight presence. Neither side finds it particularly easy to kill the other one or to poke them out of lane. So won't be looking at that in the early game in terms of aggression. However, that top lane Kha'Zix versus Lissandra, that could be quite explosive because Lissandra will want to be really heavy on the poke early on. If JWoww goes for something like a red pot, however, a red elixir start, that could get really aggressive. And the thing about red pot Kha'Zix that's really interesting is that he can actually force you away from the minions because you can't trade with him because he's popped his red elixir. But that means that you put yourself in range of the isolation damage if he then jumps on you. So scary, scary stuff. But we will be going into a quick delay timer while we wait for this game to start. And it shouldn't take too long, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the third game in the best of 3 series between AT Gaming and TCM Gaming, that being Team Cooler Master, as I was told relatively recently, having called them TCM for ages without actually knowing. Regardless, though, I am Spuddington, joined once again by Pulse.
Hello, hello, and this is the third and final game of this series, and I don't think anyone really knew that AT Gaming would take it to this stage. They have looked incredibly strong all the way through this series, and, well, we had a bit of action in the first game, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. But AT Gaming are kind of looping around the bot side of the jungle looking for their own invasion.
Indeed, they are. Actually sneaking through Tri-Brush. Okay, so that looks like it's going to be a straight exchange of the buffs here at first. But the thing that's interesting is that TCM have been spotted. However, it does not seem like AT Gaming have. They will have spotted Zaichian, though he took the long route round. So, unless they didn't notice, TCM are now encircling them.
Oh,
Motroko!
Oh, he's walking up to the brush and will be chain locked with the CC. First blood goes to their mid laner of Lapras once again, and TCM walk on out.
That's not TCM that's walking out there, but yes, indeed, that is really, genuinely, Zaichian, he walked past that ward that you can see in the entrance to the Wraith Camp area. That is a mistake in the map awareness. They were focused too hard on where they were, where they wanted to be, and what they wanted to be doing at that point. And TCM lose first blood for it. That could really give Orianna the edge in that mid lane, but I will say, we did mention it before, it's probably going to be quite a passive lane.
Indeed, and while giving her the edge is probably not going to mean she can just outright kill Gragas, but will probably mean she can outfarm him in the early couple of levels. And no, we've actually gone for the lane swap. AT Gaming moving their bot lane of Jinx and also Fiddlesticks into the top lane. Interesting, we were talking about the lane matchups, oh, and the pulse has come in. But 1 versus 2, Lissandra will be able to clear fairly effectively after the first couple of levels. I feel like Vi will probably have to put some sort of assistance down there, unless she goes for the top lane gank. It's a little odd that they've gone for this, though, because TCM so often have gone for their own lane swap-ups, just so Volibear can go for the 3 versus 1 ganks.
I think the reasoning behind this swap up, though, is that Kha'Zix is not a particularly good 1v2 laner, and they will have the faster pushing potential. Jinx takes down towers like they aren't even there. Fiddlesticks, early on, Dark Wind is an incredibly strong wave clearing ability, so between the two of them, they'll be able to get the edge in that pushing race, and they will be able to make Kha'Zix suffer for it. They may not have wanted to match Lissandra up against him. Regardless, though, it does seem like the teleport could be the key deciding factor between who is going to be the better 1v2 laner as well, because Xerius, if necessary, even if he gets 3v1 dived, can use that to get back into lane, get back into XP range, and even potentially for sustain if that's necessary.
Indeed, and both the junglers going for their level 3, and Sean's will do that, and has actually started with his red buff, so he will be able to offer assistance to his bot lane if necessary, and will probably do so. I mean, there's no reason not to, and Xerius is actually heading into his jungle, looking to actually pick up some experience from the wolves, knowing that TCM have started to freeze a little bit, but actually just backed off. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of things where if you think it's going to hit your tower, you really want to be there rather than getting any XP from wolves. So it's just a balancing act between the two of them. Sean's is there, going to be helping out keep Xerius safe, hanging off a little bit out of vision range. And I will say, if they can get through this minion wave, this big minion wave here, without taking too much poke, they will have actually the potential to go aggressive in that 2-on-2 lane. They've got a lot of burst and a lot of crowd control. Motroko would have to deal with that using his clan. Yeah,
and then Neuropterodor has done exactly the same thing, moved up to the top lane, which is basically what both of these junglers have to do at the moment. I mean, Volibear has to be there because the lane swap came from AT Gaming. You mentioned that they have very good wave clear and also pushing potential, so he's going to sit up there for the first couple of levels, and actually Fiddlesticks is very good in these 2 versus 2 situations because bounces.
Yeah, that is what Fiddlesticks quite often is actually picked for in the OGN. Not so much because he is a really, really good late game support, but because he works so well in early 2v1s. He doesn't work so well early on in 2-on-2s because he takes a while to scale up and his poke is a little bit unreliable. Random number generator god sometimes works against Dark Wind, but it does look like at the moment neither side is getting a particularly early edge in terms of that pushing potential. The thing about Jinx, though, is that if she gets that opportunity, if, you know, for instance, Kha'Zix dies and Neuropterodor isn't there, Gatling gun takes down fast.
Yeah, but they've gone for the initiation themselves. Exhaust has come down today while and Naruterodor has been clipped by the Flame Chompers. Crazy Cat still trying to get out of here, has been slowed down by the unseen threat, and another flip comes in from Naruterodor, surely securing this kill for JWoww.
And a really aggressive play from TCM works out really, really in their favor. That means now that Kha'Zix is going to be able to get some farm, get some XP, go back and get his health back up. And in return, the TCM's bot lane is still actually pushing. They are still taking advantages. Vi is actually now coming around through the Tri-Brush, so they may look to equalize and swap this around. The gank is coming in.
They are indeed, and the claw comes across. She will be locking down both of these players, but they do so much damage in return. A take him out before Sean's even arrives. Huge burst damage from Vi will pick up a kill in return, but not quite the outcome they were really wanting.
Yeah, it will slow down, however, the push that comes in from TCM in the bot lane. So, yes, it's not as advantageous as TCM's benefit there, but it's not going to ruin them. They will be able to now just continue racing in terms of towers and be on an equal footing in that race if they choose to go for it. So, both teams now getting their bot lanes back, and it does look like TCM still intends to go for the 2v1 at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, and they will have, what, a little bit of damage dealt to this turret, and just allowing Jinx to do that just for a couple seconds will be a little annoying. And also the fact that Lissandra had teleport, so she's already back in lane before Varus reaches there. But the tower only took her 200 damage anyway. So, 2-2, and a very close game, a slight advantage to AT Gaming, but we've seen in the past, Bunnington, that's what they've really needed to snowball the game out of control.
Indeed it is, but remember, we are dealing with a much different team comp from we've seen in the last couple of games from TCM. This game, much less bruiser focused, much more assassin based. Still running with a lot of crowd control, which seems to be what they like to do, but also with some slightly stronger early lanes, which can transition into more roaming plays. One of the things that has been done so well by AT Gaming in all of the games is dragon control. That's going to be much, much harder when you're dealing with Gragas, with Zyra, with Varus, who contribute so much. And in addition, when you've already swapped up your 2v1, Lapras in trouble though.
Yeah, Belgian Beast jumping in with the explosive cast and Naruterodor from the side. Oh, the wombo combo comes in, forced back to their turret. Another explosive cast will land onto Lapras, or the barrel rather, and Sean comes in for the counter gank.
Really, really nicely done there, and that was a good turnaround, just based on Sean's being in the right place at the right time, and the full burst combo chunked both of them down so much because they were so keen to chase down Orianna. Understandably keen, in fairness, but very, very keen indeed.
Yeah, so what AT Gaming are running this time around is a slightly better team fighting composition as well. They have solid engage and also follow-up damage, which is something they weren't quite running the other couple of games. So if it does get into that type of scenario, they will be in much better shape. However, as you said, the Gragas is going to cause some issues when it comes to dragon control and small objective control as well, even towers and also buffs, which is one of the things that AT Gaming were running last time. It was making it very difficult for TCM to push against them, because Gragas was able to clear, he was able to use his ultimate in circumstances where the barrel roll wasn't enough, but top lane is finding some serious issues right now.
Yeah, that is the disadvantage of Kha'Zix in the 1v2. However, they're going to try and equalize now. Naruterodor is behind Xerius, but Sean's has read his intent and is there, ult in hand.
Indeed, and they could do some serious damage as the claw comes through. Volibear will finally come in as well. This is 2 versus 3 underneath the tower. Uses the ultimate to get back to that tower. Naruterodor takes one more tower shot, will not be falling. And Xerius will have to try and clear this tower. Picking up 1 kill, but not picking up everyone. Will it be enough to keep this tower alive?
It's a question that's going to be difficult to answer, but Xerius will be not falling on this wave. The next wave, however, should be enough for TCM to get it. Barney D tanking a little bit of damage, but Xerius cannot stop this. It will be a tower gone. However, the fact that AT Gaming have taken their top tower a little bit earlier is going to give them the opportunity to get in position for this dragon, or for the blue buff, or for the mid lane tower. They've just got that little bit of extra time to plan their move, and it looks like they want mid.
Oh, Shockwave has landed, and the jump over the wall, followed by the ultimate from Jinx, and Lapras finishes off with an auto attack. Zacian takes the tower aggro takes off him, and they will be walking on out. Naruterodor left to try and clear the mid lane.
Yeah, not a lot he can do there. He will just clear away the wave and make sure that Lapras backs away. But that is nicely done stuff. And actually, Lapras was thinking about going for the Wraiths. Suddenly, Chawns makes the call. Actually, maybe Dragon would be a good idea, given their mid laner is dead. Belgian Beast will respawn soon. He will rush to this, but it's a 5v3, so unless Naru can pull another great steal, it won't work out.
Yeah, indeed. But Sean's is very low. He's got the team to back him up, though, and the zap will hit him on the backside as he backs on off. He is good to go, and AT Gaming escape with their lives and also the dragon.
Very low on health, though. If they dawdle too much now without backing, then TCM will push down this middle tower and be able to take that away. JWoww also is in this top lane and is pushing hard. Looks like Crazy Caps is going to opt to stay in and look to clear that away. Clear that wave or clear that away. They're going for the fight though.
Yeah, Zaicia's knocked back into their team. Perfect ultimate coming in from Belgian Beast, and Matroco picks that one up with the follow-up from those auto attacks.
Yeah, really nicely done, taking advantage from a kind of disadvantageous situation. Crazy Cap's thinking about going really aggressive here, but it does look like he's going to just hang around and wait for support from Lapras. Meanwhile, it's time for a swap-up, it seems. Xerius heading for the top lane, teleport up very soon, but level 6, if JWoww returns to top, I actually don't know if he can fight him.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he is slightly ahead in the farm right now, and we'll just have to see how it happens in those kind of trades which also utilize the ultimates. But with Shortens being in the top jungle, that will definitely tip it in the favor of Xerius. So right now, Jinx and Fiddlesticks in the bot lane, and they can't really freeze it because the minions are already pushing, and he's just going to recall back to base. In fact, how much gold has he got to play with? 1.6k. So now is probably the right time to recall.
Yes, it's BF sword time is what 1600 gold tells to most AD carry mains. Xerius is going to be... okay, so now is the time where we're going to see if he can fight JWoww. I've got to say, big farm gap between them two, and the kill is a little bit of extra global gold going in the favor of AT, but they... oh, yeah, not easy to trade.
Yeah, I think Kha'Zix is going to win that one. And also, even without the isolation damage, his Q is doing a lot of damage, and Belgian Beast uses the ultimate to clear the mid lane wave. He's buying them some time, at least for the bottom lane to react. Jinx is still down there, trading off against Matroco.
Yes, and now Naru Terador has come to the top lane. Xerius knows surely that he cannot defend this. He's going to hang away. Wait for Naru to leave. He's warded it. He's alert to the possibility.
Bot lane though, Zaician pops over the wall with a Crow Storm, and a Super Mega Death Rocket lands on Matroco. Sean picks up one, looking to follow up onto Barney D, connects the Vault Breaker and the Denting Blows, looking for that elusive grasping roots. 1 second left on it, and does not have the cooldown, and they pick up another kill in the bot lane.
And for all of that bottom lane fight was going in the favor of AT Gaming, TCM had the flip side fight going in their favor. They will take the top tower. Bottom tower is also going to go down. But AT Gaming coming a little bit ahead just on the grounds of kills, and the fact that bottom tower slightly more valuable at this stage of the game on the grounds that gives them a little bit more dragon control. Lapras in trouble though.
Yeah, indeed, in the mid lane, still trading against Belgian Beast. Ultimate comes out, the explosive cast, and the shockwave. This is going to be incredibly close. Oh, the dissonance and the auto attack. He wins that trade, and they pick up another turret in the bot lane.
That is incredibly clutch play from Lapras, and that gives them so many benefits. Now Belgian Beast is not going to be able to roam to catch and stop the recall from the rest of AT Gaming. That means that Lissandra gets a little bit more time in this top lane as well, although he needs to watch himself because Naru and JWoww are there. Oh boy. Yeah, is he going to be caught?
They're fairly low on mana though, but it won't matter if they're on his face. As well, they are slowly going towards him as JWoww jumps in. Oh, the jukes come down from Xerius, and he should eventually fall to Naru Terador and JWoww. It's only a matter of time before they land an auto attack. There we go.
Yes, punched in the back of the head by a bear, fell over dead. Unfortunate for him, but that's not going to translate into an objective because, as you said, low on mana and also lost a bit of health in that little chase to minions. TCM do not have the angle on that top tower, essentially. That means that when they've recalled, AT may be actually able to translate the fact they've lost Lissandra into another small advantage. Objective pushing mid lane, although Belgian Beast has got ult, so it's not going to be easy to take that tower.
Yeah, it's fairly low though. If they just get one minion wave in the right place, then it could go down very quickly. In fact, they're just going to take it down from range and take tower shots at a time. Belgian Beast ultimate comes down, preemptive flash from Crazy Caps, so he would be knocked the right way had it landed, but in fact didn't, and the middle tower will go to AT Gaming.
It will indeed. AT-Gaming getting another small advantage, except this could be bad.
Yeah, Matroco lands the Trains of Corruption to follow up as well with Barrel Roll. Still auto attack come down, a flash into the grasping root. Lands onto Zaitian, but not much else. Oh, the rocket doesn't quite hit Barney D. And Sean's thinking better of using that Vault Breaker aggressively.
Yeah, so in the event that you've been living under a rock, that probably would have killed Barney D, because Ultimate of Jinx is an execute, does more damage the lower health you are on, and that would have been hitting from very long range. It also does more damage the further it's gone, and that went nearly all the way across the map, so probably would have been enough to take him out. Wasn't a hit, though, so it doesn't really matter. And TCM now taking another tower, and kind of relying on something which I may have seen them do before. Split pushing with JWoww.
Indeed, but this time he's Kha'Zix, and yes, he has a little bit of wave clear, he hasn't picked up the tier man, and he's not Jax. So that's going to be something that is going to hurt him. But Dragon spawning in 10 seconds, and they have JWoww on the top lane, will not teleport. Looks like this is going to go to AT-Gaming once again.
Indeed, it probably will. They are certainly in control of the situation, and they have got Lissandra teleport to stop Kha'Zix when he gets up there. But they do have to be concerned, because JWoww is really farming himself up this game. 116 farm for Kha'Zix is a lot. And if he can start to get into these team fights and start to get the reset chain going, that could get really, really ugly. And I've never seen Mafia Jinx's recall animation before.
Really? Well, that's pretty interesting, considering he's been out for quite a long time, but that teleport comes into the top lane, just stopping him from taking that red buff, and Alessandra not really sure what to do because she doesn't want the red buff.
Yeah, and you've got to say, actually, that teleport in, if JWoww had known what we had known, obviously he doesn't have Omni-Map vision, he's not a hacker, Sean's in trouble.
Oh, charging up the Vault Breaker, tries to body block it, but he's put himself in an awful position. So many ultimates have been blown, but that will be JWoww dropping.
Talk about just, like, denial of existence. That was brutal.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't let him leave at all. So, yeah, hello, says JWoww in all chat. Yeah, that red buff is sort of being saved there. If JWoww had known what we had known, wouldn't actually, he'd probably have just stayed and killed Lissandra. But as it was, he thought maybe Orianna was coming. A little bit scary. And JWoww thinks it was a birthday party. I mean, in fairness,
they are running a birthday team,
game.
man. Yeah, Fiddlesticks and indeed Mafia Jinx, who always likes to be in the party.
Some certain types of parties. A lot of fun is had, shall we say, anyway. But I mean, I don't know what the kind of. I mean, it's a skin, so there doesn't have to be a backstory, quote unquote. But
I think there is.
You know,
I just can't remember it.
Well, I think Gangster Twitch is visible in her splash art. So
interesting.
Maybe it's a mafia do and then guns. I don't know.
Probably not a birthday party then.
Well, you know, it could be a mafia birthday party and then guns.
That's true.
Possibility.
That's true. Including a lot of violence. But in the mid lane, we've got AT-Gaming just farming away. They have a very strong team fight and they're ahead, therefore they can team fight whenever they really want. There's no ejector to fight over, so they can't really do too much. They have good siege, relying on the fact that TCM isn't there.
Yeah, they will take down towers very, very well. The problem they are suffering is just sheerly that Belgian Beast is really, really good at wave clear. If it was a slightly less good wave clear, you know, if it was like an Ari who had to get a little bit closer, they could potentially punish that with the Fiddle Fear or with Vi just jumping on, diving that one person and backing out. But at the moment, that's not really an issue. JWoww in the top lane, though, could be found. Yeah,
Flame Chompers doesn't quite connect, and the Cork doesn't either, and neither does the Sandra skill shots. But it's two people in the top lane means that AT will have to back on up.
And on that day, nobody died. Jinx
No
is going to be returning
landed.
to mid. What's that?
No skill shots landed. Oh, Neuroterador has been hit up by a couple skill shots, which did indeed land, and the Terrifier as well. They have very good sieging capability. They can clear minion waves almost instantly. Grassing Roots lands onto Lapras, and the ultimate will just knock him into his turret. Oh, and now Belgian Beast, but Wombo combo doesn't quite land. In fact, hit Bonnie D, and the Cork over the wall. Not quite enough damage. Everything is so incredibly clutch.
So close indeed, and nobody saw that crazy Caps. Nobody saw him flash into the wall when he tried to get over the wall to get the Belgian Beast. If that had happened though, oh my god, a Barney's in there.
Sean from the side, and the Assaulted Battery picks up the kill onto Barney D, plus the Terrify onto Neuroterador means that he won't be engaging anytime soon.
So it is a surprise party. It's just delivered by Vi. I was not expecting that at all. But one thing I would like to mention is when Crazy Caps did fail to flash over the wall, AT could have potentially, if he had succeeded there, gone really aggressive. Because remember, get excited from the kill. That would have put him into a position where he could easily cork someone to slow them down as TCM was retreating. As it happens, didn't work out for them due to the wall being too thick. Who put like the wall grew or something? I don't know what excuse you would use, but a little bit unfortunate there because that could have actually really gone heavily in their favor.
Indeed, and still with the superior team fight and the dragon spawning in 2 minutes, which will be a catalyst for a team fight if they want it. 20 minutes in, Baron, well, has been warded, but it's still probably off the cards for these teams unless they majorly outposition their opposing team. Barney D, though, warding up the jungle. Let's hope he doesn't go down the Yarrow Star route.
Oh boy, but JWoww is the man in trouble right now. Sean's in the top.
Indeed, and now it's just, can I kill Sean's before the rest of the team kills me? And he will be retreating into the brushes. They know exactly where he is, leaping out of the brush, and the cork doesn't quite land. He's actually flashing out. Does he have anything to stall time for? Not really. His team is still coming up to him. This might be a team fight considering AT are slightly out of position, but the rest of the team may be able to keep him in a good position. But Flame Trumpets comes across, and now we have the AoE 1 recover once again. JWoww gets deleted with a sort of battery over the wall from Sean's and the follow-up. However, the displacement from Gragas comes in. He's also being feared up by Fiddlesticks. Another kill comes in, 3 for 0. Zychian backs up, he's still alive, and Matrako walks back to his middle turret.
And now Naru is actually going to have to recall pretty sharpish. They could go for this Baron, but this is very, very risky play actually by AT Gaming. Naru could have stayed in, could have looked to run in on this, and they are so low on health. One piercing arrow from Matrako could really cost them a man or even the Baron itself.
Yeah, and they've got no one really to commit to him either. Oh, the piercing arrow does so much damage. This is so incredibly clutch. They have to make sure this doesn't convert into like a quadra kill for Matrako. They pick it up, they pick up Matrako, and best possible case scenario comes in for AT Gaming.
Yes, taking another advantage. Now, they didn't actually take towers off that fight. But the thing is that with that Baron advantage and with their team composition, now they can start to siege even though Gragas will be there, even though he will have blue buff. It's going to be difficult work because obviously that wave clear is difficult to deal with, and if someone goes out of position, they could be punished by Chain of Corruption, or the follow-up from Naru, the flip in, the knockback, the JWoww damage. But they are far enough ahead now to consider it, and they have the regen to start chipping away at those outer towers. And because they're so much stronger as well, they can take the map control and try and get the rotations in their favor. For instance, to go for bottom tower. So, really good position now for AT Gaming. They're looking strong in this third game.
They are indeed, and TCM are not a team we've seen being taken down by many, as Barney D takes 2 corks and is down to 40% HP. They pick up Drake. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket comes across. Doesn't quite pick up Barney D, but very close to doing so.
Yeah, it's always a very fun thing to do on Jinx, to snipe someone from across the map. But as it happens, it does look like, well, AT Gaming. Okay, so remember game 1 now. AT Gaming did get a Baron, did get ahead, and then they had a lot of trouble closing out the game. Second game, that wasn't so much of an issue for them. They were able to get ahead and start sieging down towers, but it's going to be much harder for them to siege this game. So the question is, can they make it work this time? In terms of how easy it is for them to siege, this is kind of between the first game and the second game in terms of difficulty, but they're going to go for the dive, potentially.
Oh, Sean gets knocked up and also knocked into the turret with the turret aggro. But Zychian, well, this is not quite the engage he was looking for. He manages to get out. It wasn't an issue in the long run. Oh, Shockwave comes in from Matrako and he's dropped to 30% HP. They can't quite follow up, but it's showing that they can do a lot of damage in the short space of time.
They really, really can. And I actually have to wonder, though, at this point, is Lissandra looking for the teleport play, or is she just going to keep split pushing? TCM don't have the Baron regen. That means that Sean's will get his health back up much, much quicker unless TCM back away. It's now essentially a juggling game. Will TCM back and get potentially dived if they get called on it? Or will AT be able to just regen through it?
This is really smart from AT-Gaming, though. They realize, okay, when you're all together, Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't quite hit Metroco, but when you're all together, you can chain Piercing Arrow and Barrel Roll, and then the minion wave is gone. Exactly what's happening right here. But it wasn't quite enough, and Crazy Caps does some damage to it, but by splitting them up and having Lysandra there, in fact, she jumps over the wall. Oh, Ice Shard picks up Metroco. They should be able to follow up on this as well, and he's got the invulnerability, enough time for his team, either to take the turret or help out his ally. The ultimate was not in the right place from Gragas, and did just knock AT-Gaming back into a better place. There are Pterodors still looking for this engagement. They're 4 versus 5 without their AD carry. Shawns are still there. Maybe they're a bit too aggressive. And now the Glacial Path over the wall. And the Assault and Battery onto Belgian Beast. Flame Choppers comes in. J-Walk not quite able to get to Crazy Caps. And where has Vi gone? She's all the way behind, still chasing down Belgian Beast. And it wasn't quite the engagement they wanted, but J-Walk has been forced into their jungle. And he's probably safe.
Good call by TCM though. They knew that even though they were behind, even though they'd lost men, they were far enough away, keeping their positioning well enough and in a good enough position themselves to delay the push from AT-Gaming. However, they are not going to be able to stop it. Metroco will get there, but this tower is dropping low.
Yep, Sean's maybe sticking around a little too long, jumps over the wall, and the tower shot was enough. Glacial Path doesn't choose to be followed up on, but Lapras landing those auto attacks onto the turret. It's very low indeed. As long as they don't get caught, they'll come out very favorably right here. Although Flash comes out, and the Gragas Battle knocks him in the wrong direction. Follow up from J-Wall. Can he get the reset train? He's definitely gotten one, but the exhaust has come out. He's forced to use that reset to jump over the wall. Lapras is still there. Ultimate comes in from Zykin. He flashes forwards, picks up one, looking for the second one onto Metroco, and the passer comes in from Zyra. The clean-up comes in fact, from Crazy Caps, and there's 2 players left on the board.
It's JWoww with the home guard surely by now. If he can jump in onto her, he could potentially get that kill, but he's actually just going to be too late. He does not have the money for the home guard because he only had boots 1. So that means another exposed inhib. That is the first sign of a crumbling team for TCM there, and they are already behind a long way on gold. AT-Gaming came very, very close, however, in that last fight, so it's still definitely clutch plays that are carrying this game for them at the moment, but they're getting ahead, and they're not suffering the problem they had in game 1, where they weren't able to push that inhib tower down. Now they have that opening. Now they can start to force stuff. Once they've potentially done that inhib, Baron will probably be back up as well. So now is their time to shine.
Yeah, they have the superior team fight, we've seen that, and that was underneath turret as well. This time, they've just got the inhibitor to fight over, and it will force TCM either to concede, which will make taking Baron even more difficult, because they will have to either force an engagement, or just have their base pushed in by super minions. So it's either what do TCM do? They know that AT-Gaming are going to push into their base. They know they're going to be aggressive to place down wards. If they can get a pick, great, but obviously the counterplay to that is AT-Gaming playing a little bit safer. They're doing the right play, and they're pushing out of their base, which means that it's going to be slightly easier for them to get a pick. And as a result, we've got AT-Gaming not actually going for the inhibitor, but just instead gearing up for the Baron by clearing the wards and choking them with vision.
They have actually made a little bit of an error, though. They have not spotted out that one ward in the Banana Brush's kind of stalk area, but they may catch Metroco here. He's very, very close to being caught, but does actually get away with his life there. So they are taking vision control, as you said. Having said that, Baron up in 40 seconds, and TCM most likely have the timer on it. They may catch someone out here. They're split in 2.
Yeah, Neuroterodor looking for that pick to happen. Oh, Lapras gets locked against the wall. Neuroterodor is still wailing away. And Metroco, in fact, Belgian Beast off to the side. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't land. And now J-Well, he's looking for the reset train. He picks up one Zaician off to the side, trying to take out Neuroterodor. But J-Well, he gets another. Now the reset train jumps onto Crazy Cat and picks up another as well. The reset train, it is Karzik's time. The 4-for-1 trade, and TCM come out massively ahead.
And that potentially gives them the Baron as well. That was such a good fight from TCM. That was exactly the kind of fight they needed. Oriana not doing anything. Sean taken down solo, alone, unable to do anything as well. Not none, but little peel for Crazy Caps, and JWoww doing work for his team there. Neuroterodor actually managed to survive, even though he went in essentially on about 20% health as well. So really, really big turnaround for TCM. Could this be the start of the comeback? We saw it in game 1. They were miles behind then, started to come back into it. Now, Well, they've got an open inhib, yes, but that's much less important when they already have Baron and when they have a massive team fight threat like JWoww.
Yeah, one thing is for certain, Splinting, these fights are going to start being a lot closer, and especially with Baron, TCM can easily fight AT-Gaming no matter where they choose to fight. Dragon is still up, and now it's a question of whether AT-Gaming even want to go for that, with the knowledge that TCM have that Baron buff in their possession.
It does indeed. Sean's now going to be taking away this dragon with the rest of his team. That's a minor consolation prize for them, but the gold difference on that fight has shrunk so massively. It is a big, big swing, and with the stats you get from Baron buff, in terms of straight up fighting, both teams now very much on equal ground. That does mean, however, that TCM are on a little bit of a clock. Once that Baron buff has worn off, they will once again effectively be behind on gold and in terms of fighting potential. Not nearly as far as they were, but they won't be ahead in the way that they currently are. So this now is TCM's time to see if they can crack the shell from AT, which is quite the reverse of what we've been seeing for quite a while. But if they are able to go for it, they certainly will. They may end up resorting to split push from JWoww again.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen AT-Gaming on the defensive, and this is the first time we're actually seeing they really have very good Weplay. Oh, they also have very good picking potential. JWoww forced to leap out. That could have been disastrous if he was looking for that pick. But they have very good wave clear. They've got Oriana and they've also got Lissandra, who can basically clear a wave by herself. So we'll see if it's enough, but they have to get fairly close to do it, and with the threat of JWoww around the corner, not really looking to defend this turret.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations where Naru Terador is tanky enough to dive towers, and they can pick someone off with their burst off that, so they can get one person dead and then back away. They don't really want to get drawn into a long 5-on-5 deep under an enemy tower, but they can dip their toes in relatively safely. And now they've also got the vision control over this jungle, so they can swap around if they want to. That may lead to them going for that middle tower that you can see right now is getting pushed by minions, but it looks like they intend to just take some outer towers and equalize that gold gap while they've got that Baron buff.
Yeah, while they have the Baron buff, AT-Gaming can't just straight up fight them unless they catch someone out of position. So it's just a sieging game where they don't want to engage, but they're going to try and stall this as much as possible until the stage where they can't, such as now. Taking a second turret with their Baron, already paying off, but they need to do some serious damage to AT-Gaming. They need to take an inhibitor tower, something major. At the moment, AT-Gaming are strong enough, even without the Baron buff, that they're able to stop them from going deeper.
Yeah, indeed. It's going to be very interesting when this Baron buff runs out. I think TCM, at least for now, they're more or less done with pushing the towers. They are most likely going to look to get wards down, shop, and heal up. Sean's actually found by Belgian Beast, though. I don't think he can get... He's going for it.
Yeah, knockback comes in. Oh, doesn't quite land the body slam. But that has been the flash forced out by the Vi. Meanwhile, JWoww looks to get the pick onto Lapras. Very low indeed, and will be jumping into their base and gets the reset. Crazy Cats will finish him off though, but in the top lane we have the response from TCM picking up another turret.
Yeah, that's definitely worth it from JWoww's perspective, even though he did just give a shutdown out. So a little bit unfortunate on that respect, but it gave TCM another opportunity to push down even more towers. They're looking for the damage on this inhib, but they're going in.
Crowstorm came out and the follow-up as well. Super Mega Zerf Rocket comes out, but Crazy Caps is so far behind his team. Doesn't connect the Zap. Zaician has to back off. Assault and Battery lands onto Belgian Beast, continues with the chain CC, but they can't quite catch up. They weren't right in the position. Zaician was too far ahead of his team.
Okay, well then. Now, this is what I thought was going to happen before that little exchange of picks that we saw with JWoww and that top inhib push. This now is the reset time, essentially. Both teams now close on gold. Both teams equal on towers. Not big differences between the two of them. And also, honestly, not big differences between the scaling of the two teams. So now it's going to be a matter of who can capitalize off of their straight up mechanics and their small power spike advantages that they do have in certain situations. Oracle's Elixir is being picked up by both the supports here, and I'm not surprised to see that at all. That is very, very important to this kind of gameplay. And I feel like AT-Gaming may have lost the momentum a bit here. They may look to force that in here, but are they? I doubt they actually really want to go too deep into that enemy-controlled territory at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. They don't want to be aggressive, and they can't actually be aggressive. And TCM have lost the Baron buff now, so they can't also be aggressive themselves. JWoww is going to be the biggest factor in the next team fight, and it's going to be reliant on them bursting down someone as fast as possible. That's not going to happen on the beefy front line, especially Vi, but as soon as they get onto one squishy, it could snowball out of control, just like the last team fight. I don't think we're really going to see anything happen until the next Baron. I think that's going to be the next fighting point, because there's no advantage gained from either of these teams being aggressive.
Yes, indeed. You are dead right about that. But what I would say is that if this does go really long, really long, it might just favor AT ever so slightly. Just on the grounds that late game AD carries range is paramount. And Jinx, with the rocket form maxed out, she does have that tiny little range advantage. Yes, she has less damage than Varus, but that sheer ability to attack from a range is amazing. However, it does look like they've actually gotten the jump on TCM here, who are being quite slow to recall. This could well be a free in hit.
Wow, such a good rotation call coming in from AT Gaming. They're going to pick this one up. Do they stick around for the collapse? That's the question. They should be able to get out of town as long as they group up. They'll have the dissonance, and now TCM are looking for this collapse as New Terrador already back on the back line. And the Zonius comes in immediately. Sean jumps over the wall, has been caught by Chains of Corruption, which also spreads to Lapras. They don't have the back line in the right place, and Zaician sacrifices himself, but they weren't able to get out on time. Massive shockwave decimates the team. Triple kill comes in, and the reset train this time for AT Gaming. But instead, the double kill comes in for Kha'Zix and the double kill from their AP carry.
The game is still going on a wire there. That health from JWoww, I mean, it might kind of been higher than 20 HP at the end of that combo. So close. If those two had died, game over. That would have been a victory for AT right there, taking the series, moving on to the round of 8. And I've got to say, for a round of 16 game, this has been a hell of a series.
Yeah.
Right there, though. So close. So close, in fact, that TCM aren't going to be able to take a lot of advantages off it, and they did lose that inhibitor. Maybe, arguably, AT came very close to winning there, but they actually did take an advantage overall just because they will now have a map pressure advantage. Maybe they'll be able to make another rotation call like that, but it's still, even though that fight was so close, not a game you can call at all.
Yeah, indeed. But that Orianna ult, man, hit 3 people, and had that not actually landed, had he died a second earlier, TCM would have had a huge advantage. They probably would have had 5 people alive. It was only that which allowed Crazy Caps to follow up. It was the AoE damage as well from the rocket which picked up the double and indeed the triple kill. Baron has now spawned, and we could see that all over again.
I believe I actually did see 2 kills, 1 rocket from Crazy Caps at one point in that fight. So, I mean, the team fight, it looked like it was going TCM's way, and then that clutch shockwave, and then it kind of flipped around again at the very end. So very messy stuff, but Sean's taking poke. They can't afford to do that. The Baron is up. Both teams now could clear Baron very quickly indeed. It's interesting stuff right now, though, because both the bruisers have actually taken damage, making the teams both less likely to dive in.
Yeah, both the initiators, in fact. So, indeed, they will just kind of back on off because they don't have that opportunity available to them. It's almost worse to initiate at the moment. That's the weird thing. If you initiate, the disengage is so good from TCM. You've got Zyra, then you can just nuke them down with Gragas. At the same time, if you aggress onto AT Gaming, you've essentially just got volley there, or you catch someone else's position, and TCM are forced to commit Kha'Zix down to the bot lane. If AT Gaming gets a whiff of this, they'll go for that initiation.
Yeah, they will want it, but the thing is, with the Gragas poke, the magic damage debuff, and the amount of CC that comes out of TCM, they can still potentially fight a 4v5 at Baron, assuming that AT go for it, but they were dead alert for that, but they're going to go for it with the flash!
He jumps over the wall, and the flash comes over from Belgian Beast. He also gets locked down, but Super Mega Death Rocket, the amount of CC and the amount of damage onto Belgian Beast, and he's still alive! They've lost 2 members for that engagement. Shockwave comes in once again. Oh, the damage comes in from Jinx, picks up 1. JWoww jumps in very aggressively. Zonius comes out, he picks up 1, he picks up 2. He picks up the 3rd as well with the help of his team. 5-for-1 trade. TCM could very well take this game.
That must be it. That is going to be the game. TCM take it because such a deep engage from AT Gaming took them just a little bit too deep, and the damage that came down on them from Matroco, who they were ignoring in favor of bursting out Belgian Beast, was too good. He took out too many CC sources, too much damage, and that will surely be the game. There is no way anyone is going to respawn. Zychian will be back up in 5 seconds with Crowstorm.
Dude,
he will suicide in, but can he stop it?
We'll see. I mean, he picked up a lot of kills early, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. He might pick up Naruterador. He's going to give it his last shot. He jumps in, gets the Dock Win down, and fears JWoww. Everyone dropping low. Ace comes in, and in fact, he did take out the bear, but that's bought enough time for Sean. Can he make this last-ditch effort? JWoww, he also uses the assault and battery for Belgian Beast. Jukes behind him. He actually can't trade off against them. He's looking to move back to next hit. He jumps in. He chains it together. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. They pick up another kill. That's 4 kills that go down, Spuddington. Can he make this counter push?
They lived, and Lissandra is teleporting to the bot lane. She's going to be able to take that tower really, really easily, and that will mean 2 inhibs down. That will give 80 the chance to maybe wait for that to come up, and with the 30-second timer at least on Volibear, surely they can now take a 3 inhib situation. This is incredible trading, but Xerius is actually taking a lot of damage. He can't ignore Barney D.
He can't for much longer. Strangleforce comes down. He's forced to use his ultimate in response, but that tower is so low, it's not going to be enough. He has to use Zodias not to die to Barney D. The rest of the team has caught up. He actually takes him down, support versus the mid laner, and now Crazy Cat sieges away this inhibitor. Barney D has to either recall. He can't walk through this, but he may have bought enough time for his team. Will it be enough? The inhibitor, in fact, the Nexus turrets are falling. Naruterador is back up. This will probably just be the Nexus turrets, but they can't overstay. Barney D is back. The shockwave comes in to delay them. He's out of mana. Cork comes through, knocks him over backwards. Naruterador got the flash down. Again, the Flame Chompers, he locks up another 2. But this again could be the second counter push from TCM Gaming. Naruterador trying to get a bead onto Crazy Cat. He's so incredibly close. Rolling Thunder up in 0 seconds and tries to get this down. Flame Chompers doesn't quite connect. Crazy Cats will be falling. And this finally should be TCM taking this game.
I almost don't want to say it now, but surely this will be the end. It's going to be a 3 versus 5 situation in this mid lane. Yes, Belgian Beast has taken a bit of damage, but JWoww is full. Matroco is full. It's not like last time when they were on 20% and they don't have to deal with any towers at all. They're going in.
Yeah, Lissandra has also respawned. GG Well Played has been called, but they nuke down 1. They get to the Nexus, the GG. That's the 2-1 series to TCM.
Unbelievably close. So clutch. And I have to say, AT Gaming and TCM, really brilliant play between both of them. I am honestly speechless. That was one of the closest games I've ever seen in my life. And the other thing is that AT Gaming, they are a new lineup that we haven't seen a lot from. This could, I don't know if actually they're too late to qualify for the LCS promotionals, but wow.
They're pretty good. I think that's what we can determine from this game, but I'm always upset the fact that they met each other so early into this tournament. That could have been like a finals game that we just saw.
They really are. I mean, TCM, they are one of my favorites for winning the whole tournament. Incredibly close gameplay in the round of 16. Makes you question the seeding almost. I mean, yeah. Copenhagen Wolves versus Heroes is the next game, by the way, guys. So don't go anywhere. That was really amazing. We're going to be going into a break. I believe the next games should be coming up pretty much immediately because that series went to 3 games and all 3 pretty long. Really good.
Yeah, but either way, we will be announcing the giveaway that we have today for the Logitech G300, which is a mouse. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and type !giveaway in chat, and you will be linked to the place where you should be going on their Facebook page, and then you just follow the instructions. Hey, it's a free mouse. That's our giveaway for today. We'll be back very shortly.